Welcome to Code Jogging. Today, we are going to learn how to pass data from one screen to another in Compose UI with the help of the navigation controller. Okay, so if today is your first time watching our video, please kindly subscribe to the channel. When we talk about passing data from one screen to another, we are talking about, for example, you have a data. Okay, let's say you display users list, okay, the active users list, and you will ask the user to maybe select a user to view their profile. When the user selects a user from the list and the user is being navigated to a new page or a new screen, we should be able to pass the selected user ID to the new page so that we can use the ID to retrieve the user profile details. Okay, so in this video, what we are going to do is we are going to build a simple app, okay, that has two screens. So the first screen will be the data the user will enter, and the second screen will be whatever the user entered in the first screen will be displayed inside the second screen. Okay, so we are going to use our existing navigation code. So we are going to maintain the splash screen here. Okay, and then let's use let's maintain the login page. Okay, so when the user enter anything on the login page, then you send the user to the you will send the user to the home page. Okay, so on the home page, let's update here to welcome to, or let's make it hello. Then wherever the user will type, let's say hello code jogging, so the username. So we just ask the user to enter their name to log in. Okay, so this is what we are going to work on. So before we start writing our code, let's go to the login page. Okay, so this is our login page, and instead of using this callback here, okay, we are not going to use this callback here, but or we can still work on this. We will rather pass the callback here. Okay, so the callback will have a string. Okay, so when we call the callback here, then we can pass code Georgia. Okay, so this is the data that we are going to transfer to the home screen. So this home screen here. Okay, but because we are using the callback here, we are passing a string parameter to the callback here, so that when we go to the login screen here under the composable for the login routes, then we can get whatever we are passing. So let's add it to this. So now here we are going to transfer the data. Okay, so for us to transfer the data, this is what we are going to do. We are going to use it should be on top of the navigate. Okay, this navigate here. We should add the data we want to pass before we redirect the user to the screen that we want the user to view. Okay, so we call the nav controller dot, then we type current, okay, back entry. So this one, we select this one, then it can also throw a null. So let's bring this, then we move on to save state data. Okay, so let's go to this save state handle here. Okay, then we can set the value and the key. Okay, so here the value will be, let's make it data, and the value that the key here will be the data, sorry. Okay, and the value here will be the data that we are passing, okay, which is a string here. So with this, we are now passing when the user click on login button, so we are passing code jogging as a data to the home screen. Okay, so now what we are going to do is to make sure that we are navigating the user to the home screen. So here we can go ahead and then use our home dot route. Okay, so look, let's go ahead and then execute our code to make sure that there is no errors. Okay, so whilst we are waiting for our project to run on our app, then we can go ahead and then create a state variable here. So we can have var username, then we can have remember, then mutable states. So this one should be a string. Okay, so now let's click on get started. Then we're on the login screen. So let's change the button here to click to view profile. Okay, oh yeah, so let's change this one to click to view profile here. So here we have the mutable states here. Okay, so username, use, oh sorry, use mutable states, state of. Okay, so we are going to use a live data, and then let's use the by here so that we don't need to use dot value to update the value of the username here. Okay, so let's import the set to. Okay, so now when we click on get started, we are on the login page. Then when you click on click to view profile, then we haven't welcome to code jogging. Okay, so now the registration page, we can go on the login profile page. Instead of using hello code jogging here, we can go ahead and then pass the username. Okay, so now let's run our code again. Okay, so we are supposed to have hello, comma, then empty and exclamation sign. Okay, so let's click on it, get started. Yes, because we've not handled the data that we've received on this page. So now let's work on that one. So whatever data we are passing, we have to make sure that that data is being updated once. Okay, so we can go ahead and then use the launch effect. Okay, then we are going to use the unit, so we are going to run it once here. Then we are going to get the data. So let's set var data local variable here. Then we should make sure that we are passing our navigation controller here. Okay, so that we can use the navigation controller to get the previous back stack entry. Okay, which can be also now dot then save state handle. Then instead of using set, we rather use get. So get key. Okay, we can provide a string here, and then we passed, let's go back to our login here. We passed data, okay, as a key, so we have to use the same key to retrieve the data here. So let's pass the data. So we have our data. Okay, so now we've been able to pass our data. Then we can go ahead and then assign or update our username with the data that we've gotten. So now we are having an issue here. So it's saying that this one is a null. Okay, it can return a null value, but the variable that we declared top here shouldn't have a null value. So it's either we can come here and then we make it null. Okay, we make it now, it will give us nothing. Okay, so now we can use to string. Okay, so wherever the inputs or wherever the data we will receive here is, we should convert it to string. Okay, so now we can go ahead and then execute our code to see the output. But before we do that, remember that we passed a nav controller here, which we've not passed it at where we call the home screen. So now we've passed it, we are good to go. We can go ahead and then execute our code. So let's execute our code. Okay, so now let's click on get started and then let's move. Then we have welcome to or hello code jogging. So let's go to this side again. Okay, and what um let me see what we can do. Let's change this one to hello. Okay, so let's make it there. Okay, so let's execute our code again. Okay, so and then let's uh click on it again. Yeah, so now we have hello there. One thing we are supposed to know here is with this, when you with this set, okay, so the key should be a string and then the value can be any data type here. Okay, but the little advice I can give it to you is to make sure that you always use a string. So maybe if you want to pass an integer, you can use um let's say a string. So here we can go ahead and then let's say let's pass an integer here. So we can have data equals to 200. Okay, then we can go ahead and then pass data here, which we can convert this one to an int. Okay, but if we go ahead and then run our code, let's go ahead and then run our code. Okay, so let's go ahead and then run our code. Okay, so let's click on it and then we have runtime error because here we are getting a string, but we are not passing a string as a data. Okay, we are rather passing an integer, which we want to use a string to handle it. Okay, so let's go ahead. That's the reason why I'm saying that anytime you want to use this approach, it's good for you to convert your data to a string so that you'll be free. Okay, so now we've converted what data type we are receiving to an int. Then we have hello 200 here. Okay, so now this is how we can pass the data from one screen to another in navigation in Compose UI. Okay, so in case you have any question, you can leave it at the comment section. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, please kindly subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video. Bye bye.